It's so good to be back. This, as Terry mentioned, I am one of you as well. I grew up right down in Bloomington, born and raised, and I'm sure many of you know the story of the legacy that is how Indiana soccer became, but I was born into it. So there is no one with deeper pride of the uniform than all of you and me up here standing here, because I'll tell you what, it is a special thing to be part of Indiana University. And it's so good to be back here, because this is a highlight for the coaches that come here. I've been to quite a few of the different stops, and the energy that all of you bring here from down here in Southern Indiana is a special deal. We have a lot of good friends that help our department continue to prosper. And we have a lot of soccer supporters in this group, which is neat to see. But again, really excited to be back. I'll introduce you to our two student athletes here in a moment. But just a little brief recap on our year last year. As Jeremy said, we won the championship in 2012. And we have some players that are still on the team that were part of that. And after a difficult 13, we started the year in 14 unranked, position that we haven't been in too often, but we have through the years. And this team, I can remember going down the locker room before the season, and on the board was a few comments about where they wanted to be. Felt a little bit slighted of where they started, and I said, well, it's all a matter of where you end. And this group went from unranked to number one ranked by the time we were in the middle of the season, and finished with a 4 RPI, which obviously gave us a great seed in the tournament. And it came a long way with a relatively young group. We lost some key players the year before. So this team had a mission. They played fantastic soccer, and they really represented Indiana well. It's tough to be the last one standing. We've done it 8 times. It's quite remarkable when you think about it. And there is no better feeling than to have that moment. It doesn't define your experience in Indiana. I wasn't able to win one as a player. I came short twice in championship games. However, there is an extra bit of that experience that no one gets to experience unlike that of winning it. And this group is really motivated. Those players are part of that team. It drives them. And yes, we had a very good year in a lot of respects last year, but we want to be able to bring home special things. We want a star on our hats. We want to give all of you a 9th championship. And so what you see is Quest for 9. And we don't hide behind that undaunting task. It's difficult, we know that, but that's our goal. And our players know that, and that's what this traditionalist program brings out the best. We bring the best in. And many of those best players are right in this part of the region. We have a few that are just down here in Southern Indiana. We have Richard Ballard from Louisville, who will be a prime player for our team for next year, been here for a few years. We have a new player, I expect big things. His family's here tonight. Corey Thomas from Corydon. Expect big things from him coming into next year. And the top player out of Kentucky, we've done very well bringing those players to Indiana. Sam Stockton, Player of the Year, is coming to Indiana as a 2-time Player of the Year from the state of Kentucky. So they're coming where they need to go, right up to Bloomington. And it wasn't too long ago we were down this way playing one of our rivals, obviously a school rival, and becoming quite a soccer rival, and that's Louisville. And they have a fancy new $16 million stadium. And I'm sure many of you have been to it. And I can tell you, by the end of that 90 minutes, the only thing that you were hearing was the Indiana fight song. 3-0, the fight song. The Louisville fans went home a little early. However, it's quite a rival, but it was nice to come down this way and take care of business, and we'll continue to be on that path. Next year, we have one of the most difficult schedules year in, year out. That's why RPI will reflect it. We do well with results, we'll be amongst the top, which will position us for postseason opportunities. We have a tremendous class coming in. I mentioned just one from the southern part of this area down in Kentucky, with a host of others. I really encourage you to come out and watch this team. I've been around this program a long time as a player, an assistant, now a head coach, seen a lot of teams. I do feel this team has potential to do something special. I don't say that to every team before the start. I do feel very, very good about this team. The way the team did this spring, we were able to beat a youth national team from Mexico, which is very difficult to do when we beat a pro team, and took the new Louisville team to a very tough match, the new pro team down in Louisville, and outplayed them quite honestly for a good portion of the game. So the signs are there. Now it's come August, we'll see how these guys do. But again, thank you so much for coming out. I'm gonna have these guys say a few words. I'm gonna first, instead of giving you some time with the mic, I'm just gonna throw you a few questions. You guys ready? Now these two guys, Colin Webb and Tanner Thompson, are not near here. These are our California transplants. And as you can see, there's quite a few more coming to Wilmington from out of the area. And I just want to talk and get their perspective on what is special about Indiana and a little bit how different it is from coming from California. I'm going to field this one to Colin first.
What was the first one?
He's a goalkeeper. Now, Colin these two are in I-Corps right now. They're fantastic students. So I'll kind of jump into, I'll get back to your question, Colin, for a second. But these two are 3.5 or greater students in the Kelly School, in I-Corps right now. So while I napped on the way down, these two were studying for I-Corps at the moment. But Colin, my question was, transitioning from California, how has it been coming to Bloomington, and what are some things you've really enjoyed about Indiana?
I came to Indiana because I wanted to compete for a national championship, and I also wanted to get a great education, which you can get at the Kelly School of Business. One of the biggest transitions was you heard a lot about tradition before you came to Indiana, but I really didn't know what that meant. It only took a short time to realize what the tradition really meant, and I think our program exemplifies that in a different way. I think our team has one of the strongest bonds, like a family connection. There's 30 guys on our roster that will do anything for one another, and I think that made the transition pretty easy.
Nice job, Colin. Tanner's from the northern part. Colin's from San Diego. Tanner's from Sacramento. Tanner just was named first team All-American as a sophomore. And that's the first one we've had since 1997, since Dima Kovalenko was a first team as a sophomore. We've had first teams, but not as a sophomore. This is a really tough task. So I asked Tanner, how are we going to be able to make this an improved clip? What are the new challenges? And you don't have to dig deep into Tanner's past. And I talked to his dad about it, and I said, what do you think how Tanner's going to do next year? What do you think he has to do? And he goes, well, he needs to get a ring, because I have one. He goes, what's the All-American thing's pretty cool, but I don't think he won't wear that ring around. So his father scored the goal in the national championship game in 1982. So a unique connection to the university, Tanner Thompson. So Tanner, what I'm gonna ask you is, how are you when you go back home for Christmas break? What's your conversation hopefully gonna be with your dad about how you did one up on him? No, I said how you could talk to your dad after you have the year. Yeah.
Hopefully at the end of this year, we're going to go back. I mean, it's all of our plans to win a national championship, so hopefully I can come back to California with a ring for him. I know he'll really enjoy that. And but I just want to thank you all for coming out here tonight. It's great to see the support coming from a family that's IU through and through. My mom graduated from Kelly. My dad was a Kelly grad. It's just nice to see all the support in Indiana. I missed out on it in my childhood because I was in California, so I didn't see all the support and the wide support that we have here. But once I came to Indiana, it's very clear to see. I just want to thank you guys for that.
These two represent our program really well. And as I said, these two are scholars in the Kelly School. Our team GPA this past semester was at a 3.1 as a team. Our academic success has been fantastic, and we're really proud of what we're doing in the classroom. Lastly, I'd like to thank all of you, because the experience that these young men are having, as we say, we want better for our children. And I have 3 boys. I can't say young anymore because they're a little bit older. And you understand what your parents said. You want more for them. And I know as a student athlete, the experience that they're in position to have is even a better one than I could have had. And that's because of the people in this room and so many people who love Indiana. Because what you provide and what you continue to support allows us to grow and have even more support on all levels. And so I can say very confidently that the experience that these student athletes are having now could surpass any of the experiences that we could have had because of that support. And that's because of all the support that you provide in this room. So thank you so much for everything that you do, and go IU.